Hello and welcome to Barry Interesting. I'm your host, Barry Aycock. On today's show, we're going to highlight the 2021 Gideon Bulldogs volleyball team. The ladies made it to the state finals, came in second place, but they're state champions in our heart and in our region. So I'd like to welcome Coach Kristen Asherbrenner and Cassie St. Cyr to the show today. Ladies, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Kaylee Ashbrenner, and I'm a junior at Gideon, and I started playing volleyball when I was 7 years old.
I'm Katie Clenny. I'm a senior, and I started playing volleyball when I was 7 years old.
I'm Mallory Sharp, and I'm a senior, and I started playing volleyball when I was 9.
I'm Haley Stover. I'm a senior, and I started playing volleyball when I was 9.
My name is Faith Raymond. I'm a senior, and I've been playing since I was 7 years old.
My name is Hope Raymond. I'm a senior, and I've been playing volleyball since I was 7 years old.
My name is Gracie Lawrence. I'm a senior, and I started playing volleyball when I was 15 years old.
Coaches, congratulations on a successful season. It was a historic run, one of the biggest runs in Gideon school history, 32-2-1. And Coach Asherbrenner, you've got your 300th victory this year. So congratulations to you.
Thank you.
But let's talk about this state championship team this year. What makes this team special? You've coached a lot of teams. What makes this team special?
I'm going to start with saying that this team is a family. They started back in the third and fourth grade. They had this saying, state one day, and these girls have worked towards that goal consistently each year. Their work ethic is beyond most high school athletes. There was never really anything that I had to pull out of these girls. I know you look at them, some people think that I probably worked extra hard, but these girls really did the work. They come in, they played throughout their junior high and their high school season. We've played numerous volleyball games all winter, so these girls just had a work ethic like none other.
Yeah, this is a group that my first year here, I had them in elementary PE, and these girls would walk to the gym, bump into volleyball. They would play volleyball in gym, and they would leave the gym bumping a volleyball. And I have yet to see a group of girls do that since. And they just wanted to play all the time. And so it was a special group from the start.
So they had a commitment to excellence at a very, very young age.
Yes.
I noticed during some of the timeouts, you actually prayed. So you promoted team unity. I think that what's part that makes you a great coach. But how many games do you think these players have played together?
If I had to guess, I would say probably around 1,000 games. Starting in the third and fourth grade, we have Little League intramurals. We play colored teams there, so they play against each other. And then even in the fourth, fifth, and sixth grade, we have a traveling team. They've played junior high volleyball. They've played high school volleyball. And every winter since the fourth grade, this group of 6 girls has played all winter long. They've traveled the tri-state area playing volleyball. So if I had to guess, I'm going to say around 1,000 games.
Wow.
Which is a lot, but that's the dedication that it took to get us to where we are today.
And the hard work and dedication finally paid off. There's many, many teams that would like to be where you were at in the state championship. Coach St. Cyr, you were the last great team that Gideon had in 2004. The players were telling me. You were the last all-state player until this year in 2004. You've kind of got a unique view of the Gideon Volleyball program and how it's been built over the years. Kind of give us your perspective on the evolution from when you were a player, coached by Coach Asherbrenner, until today, because, it takes a long time to grow the program.
Yes, it does. I think Gideon Volleyball's had a history of winning and a history of being successful. She started coaching me when I was a sophomore, and she coached my sophomore through senior year. And even in those years, we had won districts a couple of those years and got pretty close to that state run. And I've seen it, as a player and as an assistant coach for her. It's just a history of success and a history of strong work ethic. And so I think she has high expectations, and the kids follow those.
Well, just a follow-up question. Success breeds success. So are the girls coming up to play? They see the winning tradition that Gideon has. Does that give them some pride and motivate them to practice day and night like this team did?
I think so. I think, we've really tried to instill that in our groups below, this group of trying to instill the let's play winter ball throughout, the wintertime and playing summer ball. And so I think they can probably see that the success that these kids have had this year and what it took to get there. And so I think that they've been able to hopefully have some drive for themselves to continue that.
Coach Asher-Brenner, when did you realize this season that, hey, we could be state champions?
We started back in the summer. We went to Branson to a volleyball tournament, and when we got out there, I looked at the competition that we had, and I thought, they don't really know who we are or what we're about. And we went out there and we won every game that we played. And I told Coach, I said, we're making a name for ourselves this year. This is it. And then we had kind of changed our schedule a little bit this season to play some other teams. We got the chance to play Advance, and I'll tell you, going into the game, the first game against Advance, I was super nervous because I knew that these girls had what it took to win, but I wanted them to perform. And after we beat Advance in the regular season, I thought, this is our shot. Like, we have a chance, nothing crazy happens or no one gets injured. We have a shot. And after that game, I really started to believe it. And, coaches told me for years, this is the group right here. And we finally said, all right, this is the last shot we got. But after that game, I felt like, all right, here it is. Here's our shot, and we got to do it.
You made a lot of volleyball fans. I really didn't keep up with volleyball till this year. Your husband was texting me the scores all the time, so I was on the edge of my seat. But Coach St. Cyr, what was the turning point of the season for you that you thought this team could do it?
I would have to agree that I think it's also the Advance game. I think going into it, in the back of my mind, I thought we could definitely beat them. But I think just knowing that was a big step for us, a big hurdle to get past, and that just kind of solidified it for me that I think we've got a shot here. This could be a real thing that happens.
Well, Coach Asher-Brenner, I kind of remember the first Advance game that you played this year. It wasn't really that close, but the ones in the playoffs was a nail biter. Definitely
a nail biter. We had watched video from the game that we had played them, and we had got a few other videos to watch. And I knew Coach Hoffman was going to have everything ready on her end. And so we really just tried to focus on doing what we knew how to do. Pass, set, putting the ball away. And I'm telling you, my girls played with the drive that it took to win that game. The atmosphere was overwhelming. I'm not sure I've played in that or coached in that atmosphere with so many people, and it was just so loud. It was exciting to, I actually was looking today at some of the pictures, and after we won, or the last point, it's like everyone on the other side of the gym had their hands raised. It was just an awe moment of, just volleyball. That was just volleyball at its finest right there.
That was standing room only at the gym that day.
It was, definitely.
It looked pretty amazing on TV, too. I was watching it on TV. But that brings me to another question, Coach St. Cyr. What did that mean to the school, the community, the region? Because I know the whole region, the community kind of wrapped their arms around you. You weren't really the Cinderella story at the time because you were kind of favored to win most games. So what did that mean to the community and the surrounding area?
I think it meant a lot. I mean, I think just having that chance to bring some history back to Gideon, we've had that shot years ago for volleyball, and then the boys, a few years ago. And I think just to, again, just bring a piece of history back and something that our town can be proud of and something our community can remember.
Well, you're kind of celebrities now, but you also have three ladies on your team that are celebrities because they're all staters.
Yes.
They're three very special players. We got a chance to sit down with them earlier, but what makes those three players special?
Those three players, Kaylee, Katie, and Mallory, all bring something different to the table. I look at Mallory and I think she is the glue that holds our team together, so to speak, the quarterback. She ran the offense for us well. She distributed all three positions that we needed, and I really relied on her a lot. You can probably ask her. I was pretty rough on her, but she brought a lot to the table. Katie has been my go-to for a while. Definitely a smart player. She's an aggressive hitter, does exactly what I've asked of her. Never give me 1 ounce of trouble. Just a good player all the way around. And Kaylee has really matured a lot in the last couple of years. She became one of the strong hitters for us. She actually led our team in digs. And so all three girls are special to me and bring something different to our team.
And that's quite an accomplishment for your program to have 3 All-Staters.
Yes.
Like I said, we got a chance to sit down with them earlier, and they have a lot of great stories. I heard a story about Mallory. She actually, in her younger years, beat a team 25-0 just on serving, I heard.
She did.
So she must be a dominant server.
Definitely. I think she was 7th in the state in aces. That's the whole entire state.
Let's check out the interview with the 3 All-Staters now. I am joined now by 3 of Gideon Bulldogs All-State volleyball players. It was a historic run. I'm joined today by Kaylee Asherbrenner, Katie Clenny, and Mallory Sharp. Congratulations, ladies, on a historic run in your individual honor of being All-Staters. That's quite an accomplishment. Kaylee, what did it mean to you to make All-State?
It was a very great accomplishment, and I was very honored to be selected, and it's been a dream I've had since I was younger, and it was just felt amazing to be able to accomplish that.
Katie, you told me before we went on the air that you didn't even know these individual awards existed. So Tri-County Conference Player of the Year, All-State, what does that mean to you?
It's a privilege. I mean, we were a few players selected out of 107 teams to be part of that title, and it feels really good.
When the season started, Mallory, did you think that you were going to be an All-Stater?
No, I didn't even know the awards existed either, so I didn't expect that to happen, but it was crazy that it did, and it made me feel like it was a really cool thing that happened.
It's quite an accomplishment. Like you said, everybody doesn't get to be All-State out of 107 teams. Mm-hmm. So congratulations, ladies, for being All-State.
Thank you.
Y'all been playing together forever. Kaylee, how long have you been playing with this group?
We've been playing volleyball together for about 10 years, and it started when we were in like 5th grade and we started playing colors ball, and then it moved to traveling ball, and then winter ball, and then eventually school ball.
Well, Katie, that's a big commitment. Do you remember some of those games 10 years ago? Because
Yes.
it started early for all of y'all.
I remember in the 5th grade when Mallory served 25-0. We didn't have to play a single point. Mal did it all. And then in intramurals, we were all just playing against each other, and I had to be really competitive because we're all competitive.
25-0, that's domination. Mallory, there were many, many long days and long nights. It sounds like y'all been playing together from an early age, 5 or 6 years old. Many practices, many long nights. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we had played since we were like 9 and 10, and we would spend like our whole lives on the court. Like we were always together. Like everything we would do was just together all the time, like 24/7 basically.
That's one thing I can say about the games that I watched of y'all's. Y'all actually prayed during timeouts. I mean, y'all had a lot of unity there. And, that's a successful team has unity, and I think y'all have proved that this year. But that brings me to another question, Kaylee. When did you actually think that you could win the state championship?
I mean, that's been our goal since we could all remember, but I think whenever it really hit reality and we all realized that in the quarterfinal match against Advance, whenever we won the first set and then the second, that this is real, like this is happening. And it was a very emotional time. Like all of us were crying before the game was even over. It was just very emotional and a very, very good feeling.
Advance has kind of been y'all's arch rival because they're, I think, 3-time state champions.
Yes.
Katie, when did you realize that we're good enough to be state champions?
I would say during the Advance match. We got down a few points in each set, and I was just on the court. I never got nervous or anything. I was just like, I know my team's going to pull through, and we did. I knew from there that we were going to make it.
Mallory, what's the key moment during the season that you thought this team is really good, our hard work has paid off?
Probably whenever we were in like the first set against Advance and we were down a lot, and then we had to pull through, and like we went into extra points. The score ended up being 29-27, and it really hit there that we could do it.
Katie, tell me about these hashtags. There's one that started at a young age. It kind of motivated all of y'all. So tell me about the hashtags that kind of gave y'all some motivation to win.
Our first one started, we were in the 5th grade, and we were at a club ball tournament. And we were all in the same room, just having a good time with each other. And we were all like, we really want to go to state. And on the ride home from that tournament, I was like, Dad, we talked about going to state one day. And he was like, so make hashtag S1D a thing. And I was like, okay. And he was like, state one day. And so we kept that as a motto since we were in the 5th grade. And then recently we come up with hashtag OSAT, which means one step at a time. It means don't look too far ahead. Focus on this moment.
And that kind of carried y'all through, that motivation, that hashtag. I heard it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Kaylee, what's it like to be coached by your mom? Is she able to turn mom or coach off at the right times? I mean, are y'all still talking about the games when you go home? Are you chewing her out for making some bad decisions? Or is she chewing you out for missing a spike? Or what's the dynamic there?
Well, it seems like it would be very easy to play for your mother and her be your volleyball coach, but it's actually probably one of the hardest things I've done, because if she yells, which she's gonna yell if any of you have heard her, she yells a lot at me specifically, I guess because I'm her kid, but it's just, I just want to look at her and be like, seriously, Mom, or back talk or something, but I can't do that because I have to respect her and respect that she's my coach. And many nights going home, I'd have to ride the bus back with her, and all I would hear is, you could have done this, you could have done that, but really she's one of the best coaches I've ever had, and I just really appreciate everything she's done for me and all of us.
You should tell her you're never supposed to take your work home. Sounds like she did.
Yes, she did.
Well, thank y'all for being here today. Congratulations on being All-State. I never got to be All-State. Almost everybody that y'all know didn't get to be All-State. So it's really an accomplishment. It's an elite group that you're in, and you should be very proud of yourself. And congratulations on a great season and your individual accomplishments. And Kaylee, we expect this again next year.
Thank you.
My favorite memory is probably the first time we played Advance on our home court. It was just beating them was made me feel like we can go to the state championship, that we can actually do it.
Beating South Iron in our first ever 4-set match.
My favorite memory this season is beating Advance and qualifying for the state tournament.
Whenever we won the first set, it seemed crazy. It seemed like it wasn't even real. And then whenever we won the second one, it seemed like we were almost there. And then the third one finally happened, and we realized we actually got to go to state, which was something we worked for our whole lives, and it was crazy.
It was amazing. I was serving, and it was just, everything was in slow motion. It was the best moment of my entire life.
My favorite memory from the season is the send-off the day that we went to play at state. And just the entire town was there, and everyone was gathered around us and waving us goodbye, and it was just so motivational. And I just remember thinking that everyone was just going to be there supporting us the entire way through.
The championship game, when it was all over and the game point and we lost, and I was crying, and I looked over at Hope and she was crying, but we weren't really sad because we lost the championship game. It was kind of just a realization that it was over, but we were grateful that we got to play all these years together.
This was a historic run by the Gideon Bulldogs volleyball team, one that'll be in the history books forever. But there's some amazing individual records for your team, for you, and for your players. In Missouri high school, you now have to win 3 out of 5 sets in varsity volleyball instead of 2 out of 3. Your match record was impressive, but when you break it down to sets, it is truly remarkable. Prior to the Final Four, your team was 102-4 in sets. Even the best teams have a letdown now and then. How did you keep your team motivated and focused just to keep winning? Because winning is just about all you did.
Well, motivation, we talked a lot about self-motivation. These girls had the skill set to win games, but we talked a lot about self-motivation and what they needed to do to get their self ready for each game. I don't know if you watched games or came to many of the games. My coaching philosophy is very hands-on. I'm very loud. I'm going to yell at them whether they're doing really well or they're doing, bad, so to speak. But self-motivation was the big key for these kids to figure out what they needed to do to get themselves ready for each game. So.
Coach St. Cyr, there's always a good cop and a bad cop on the coaching staff. So what part did you play in that?
I would say the girls probably see me more as the good cop, although I'm learning. I am getting better. They have told me some, whoa, you're yelling a little more now. But I would say probably compared to coach, I would be considered the good cop. But
What was it like to coach against your cousin, which is my cousin? You're my cousin,
Yes.
although you don't claim me. So Amy's my cousin distantly. But you and Amy got to coach against each other in a packed gymnasium at Clarkton.
Yes.
We had got a chance to cover that on YHC through A-Court Media, and it was a packed house. It was kind of an electric crowd. So what was it like to coach against your cousin?
First, the atmosphere was really neat to have both sides. You know, the Clarkton on one side, Gideon on the other. The atmosphere was great. We had a bunch of kids that came out. They had a bunch of kids. The atmosphere was just wonderful. A lot of people ask if it's a rivalry. I'm thinking more a competitive rivalry. You know, we've coached against each other for several years. She started coaching before I did. I was still in high school, and she would come over to my house and show me how to do a spike approach, and she would throw balls at me. So it's a competitive rivalry. I'm not going to say that it's bitter in any way, shape, or form, but playing against her, I always know that she's going to have her kids ready to go. We played them 4 times this season, and every time they got better. And it was just a great atmosphere, and we have a love for the game. We share a love for the game. We're actually going on a trip in a couple weeks together to learn more about volleyball and learn about coaching. But just being around her, couldn't say anything bad about her. She's a wonderful coach and always has her kids ready to go, and I just enjoyed it.
I thought she really had her players up for the game against you in the playoffs there at Clarkton.
Yes.
Coach St. Cyr, you've been coaching for how long?
this is my 8th year here at Gideon.
Oh, you're a veteran now. So like we talked about earlier, you played there, you were all-state there as a player. What's it like to coach alongside Coach Asher Brenner?
It's been a dream. It's been a ride. I've really grown a lot, I can tell, from my first year as a coach to now. I've really learned a lot from her, and it's really neat to have been coached by her, to say that I was coached by her and to also coach alongside with her, and then just to still be a part of the program.
Lastly, Coach Asher Brenner, you got a chance to coach your daughter. You got to coach your daughter in the state championship. Hardly anybody in the world gets to say that. So are you able to turn coach and mom off and on at the right times, you think? Do you take your work home?
I tried not to take my work home. Now, there are times that we go home and I watch game tape and we'll say, hey, you could have done this or you could have done that. But all of these girls that's played for me for the last few years, I feel like I'm their second mom, so to speak. I try not to treat anyone differently. I probably hold Kaylee to a higher standard at times, but Coach would be like, all right, that's enough. You know, I think she got it. But I feel like I try to be mom at home, and we may talk about some things. We really try to celebrate the successes that she had and that we had as a team together. There are times that I take it home, and I try not to, but there definitely are times that it happens.
I mean, you hardly lost, though. What could you be getting on to her about?
Well, there's lots of things. I always see room for improvement.
So you strive for perfection. You just wanted what was best for her.
Correct.
Even though she rode the bus on a lot of times.
Yeah, she didn't enjoy those sometimes, but you know, it is what it is.
Well, thank you for both joining us today. Like I said, it was a historic run for the Gideon Bulldogs volleyball team. It'll be something that we talk about for years to come. And thank you for coming today, letting us be a small part of documenting this history. And congratulations once again.
Thank you.
It was a historic run. Hopefully you'll get to repeat it again next year. We can sit here and talk about how you won the state championship. Thank you for joining us on Very Interesting. Once again, I want to congratulate the Gideon Bulldogs volleyball team. Runner-up in the state championship, but you're number one in our hearts and our minds here in Southeast Missouri. Congratulations.